Okay, the next step was to locate and route the cable from the remote control button. I decided that I'd want to operate that with my left hand, not wanting perhaps at times to take my hand off the throttle. So I have mounted it in this location, kind of tough to, see it. There it is, right here. Okay, that's the remote control button, and so I just threaded it down right through this opening here, and then used cable ties. The white cable ties there is following it down along with the cable from the front camera and up through the opening where the bike's helmet lock accesses into this area. I have plugged up the DVR with the front and rear cameras. I'm going to now go ahead and get the power set up to it, and so I can do the initial level of testing and see if things are well. Get it outside where I can get a GPS signal and determine a good location for the GPS antenna. Okay, I've got things temporarily wired up to do a test to make sure that I've got power and that I'm getting some signal from each of the cameras. So again, this is their power hub. I've come off of that with a extension because it won't reach back to the provided 12 to 12 to 5 volt converter, which is in line here, plugged into port 4 on the DVR. Port 3 has a splitter in it that has the remote button and also the DVR speaker unit, which I've yet to place. I'm going to back the bike out of the barn to see if I got a signal based on different placements of the pickup. And the camera A and camera B, or front and rear cameras, are all plugged in. So I'm going to fire up the bike. That's when I get through my trigger, which is here to feed the hub. That doesn't light up until the bike is actually fired up, and a few seconds after that, and then I'll get that power hub fired up, and then I should get power back to it. I should see an image on front and back lenses. So we'll see here what happens. Be right back. Okay, well, what the problem was, the converter that supplied the 12 volt to 5 volt converter also has a trigger on it, and it was not getting 12 volts down. You see, I've got a display here now. So we now have it powered. We have both input from both cameras. That's the rear. That's both a front and a rear. And that's the front. So those are working. I got to go through and set some other parameters in the DVR. I needed to flip the front camera 180 degrees. Its mounting is in reality upside down as far as its normal orientation is concerned. Apparently the rear camera was alright, the rear lens I should say. So I just got to now clean up all this wiring, get it tucked in. I've got to go back the bike out and determine first where I'm going to mount the GPS unit so it does get a signal. So I got some more testing to do. I've got some more cleanup to do before the bike is ready to button up and go take an actual test run with it functional later. Well, as far as what it takes to install the INNOVV K1 on a 2014 RT Spyder, that's pretty much all of the real details of it. The rest of this is obviously just tucking wires in, using some cable ties to dress things up and to confirm that panel access will not be a problem. And then it's at this point then it's user education. I've got to learn exactly what are the capabilities of the system and what can I expect from it, and then setting up the various parameters through the menu that's on the K1 to have it behave as I would like. And I have to do probably some trial locations of the satellite antenna so it picks up the GPS signal. Right now it's sitting right in here beside the DVR, so maybe that'll work. It would be nice because the speaker, if it's out where the speaker could be exposed to the climate, it's supposed to have some tape put over it because it's not really weather resistant design. So hope that helps those who are considering it. It looks like a big job. It took me quite a little while, as this was done over the course of 3 days, because I needed to confirm some things as far as placements and decisions to make, and routings, panel removals to get access to things. Typical on a Spyder of adding just about any kind of accessory that is electronic based, some considerations that one needs to go through. Thank you. Well, there we are, all buttoned back up. The panels all went back together fine. Again, there's the front lens, and underneath the seat is still to be dressed, obviously, but a DVR unit and the GPS unit is sitting under there. It seems to be getting a signal when I back the bike out of the barn and actually sat on it. Still was receiving a GPS signal. We'll see if that holds up. And the rear lens. So she is ready to field test. That's the proper word. Right now I've been at it for a while again today, so I'm going to take a break and sign off. Later on I'll post some videos once I capture some and then do some editing. I got to play with, they've got a piece of software that came as part of this deal that was sent as attachment to an email that I downloaded. I have yet to implement that. Thanks.